justice for all.
Well, the record shows Selectman Bean is absent. Consent agenda number C, warrants number 31, 423, 24, number 32, 423, 24, number 33, 422, 24, 34 and 35 and 36 are all 423, 24, and 37 is 424, 24, and
38 is this week's payroll,
Okay.
this week's warrant, so you
All right.
won't get it till next meeting.
All right, 39 is 5/6/24. Payroll registers number 17, 4/25/24, number 18, 5/2/24, and number 19, 5/9/24. Looking for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the AP warrants and the payroll registers as read.
And I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the warrants and payroll register as read. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. Number 3, a liquor license to approve a liquor license for Lakewood Golf Course. I don't know what golf course, but.
Did I, oh, I thought I fixed that.
It's a golden golf course.
Yeah, Golden Golf Course, I guess.
I thought I fixed it.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the liquor license for the Lakewood Golf Course.
And I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve liquor license for Lakewood Golf Course for this year. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. Looking for a motion to accept the minutes for the select board meeting on April 22nd, 2024.
Move to accept the minutes of April 22nd.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the minutes of April 22nd, 2024. Any questions? All those in favor? We have three in favor and we have 1 abstaining. All right, letter E, whole business, review proposals for structural engineering study of a town-owned property. We have two people that have made a bid, Caldwell Engineering and Plymouth Engineering. Town manager, anything on that before we move forward?
No, I had a chance to review them, and it appears that the second one, the Plymouth Engineering, has more experience directly with the municipalities, but they did not include the air quality, which is probably why their bid is a little bit lower than the other one. So I think they're comparable, and I don't have a recommendation one way or the other.
All right. Anybody like to make a motion on either one of them?
May I make a comment?
Yep.
I agree with you that I think the Plymouth has more
Experience.
building experience, and there are a lot of bridges on the other one.
That's what I thought.
So I would make a motion that we accept their bid.
Okay.
Do we want to add air quality to it, or, I mean, I'm thinking that was part of our.
Yes, so I think we do, and it would, I'll get an answer from them as to how much that will increase. But
Do we want to do it?
with air quality control.
Yeah, I think we gotta get moving. We've been putting this off for quite a while, so. Mr. Moody?
Can we really vote on a motion when we don't know the price yet? Because there's gonna be a difference in the price here. I mean, we're voting on something that we don't have a total price on.
Maybe put a cap on it?
Yeah, I was just
So
gonna say, we
we
put a
can-
cap on it. What did the other bid have?
27 even, and
for-
that included
Not
air,
to exceed 27,000.
Then maybe-
Yeah,
up to, okay.
All right.
So you have a motion, but you don't have a second yet.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to accept Plymouth Engineering for a structural engineering study of the town-owned properties. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. And that's up to 27,000.
Including the air quality
Yes.
testing, yep.
All right, number 2, stop sign on Myrtle Street. Jeff, I think that comes from you.
Well, I went out and did some investigating. There are no east-west stop signs. I talked to the DOT and they said that federally, stop signs are not to be used for speed control. So, he says municipalities can do what they want, but they suggest that we do what the federal regulations are. It's not a law, but they're recommended.
Recommended that we have stop signs? On
Not,
stop
not used as
Speed,
speed
yes.
control.
We just removed those. I mean, that whole Myrtle Street was four-way stops for a long period of time. For some reason, I don't remember the exact reason, the previous road commissioner removed those. Do you remember, Mr. Louis?
I seem to remember that the reason that there were a four-way stop there is because a resident in that area requested it to slow down the speed, which was the wrong thing to do, but that's why the stop signs were there. You know, if we're gonna put stop signs, you know, find out what street's gonna be the through street, and the other street will have to have the stop signs to it.
Pretty much what they have right now, right?
Myrtle Street is the through street,
Right.
and all cross streets have stop signs.
There you go.
We just talked about
And
this
that's-
for, North Street,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't do it.
Correct.
North Street and.
Where Thomas and North Cross, we talked
Right.
about it there, but
Yep.
we didn't do it.
Correct.
So, and I think we should just leave it the way it is. And ask the sheriff to monitor the speed. And
Correct.
That's all we can do.
That street is not wide enough to have, Myrtle Street is not wide enough to have the speed sign on it.
Yeah.
So another alternative might be and Mike, maybe you can help us with this, temporary speed bumps, are those possible?
You can, they're just a lot of work.
Yeah,
If you're gonna drill poles down to the hot top, put them in, and then make sure they're brought up before winter time too. So, I mean, it is possible, but then you have to get the price of them, how much they're gonna cost, stuff like that.
You can slow traffic down by putting other signs, not stop signs, but, you know,
children playing.
children at play or things like that.
I know we put a bunch of those on Pine Street just a few years ago, wasn't very long ago.
On Pine Street, it was, the signs were no through street.
We had was a fight or some sort of, I can't remember what it was, but it was something,
Remember that.
that was a sign that was put on, a multitude of signs put on Pine Street at one point. Maybe we could find some signs to put on there.
On Preble Ave, there were some no parking signs by the ball fields.
These are slow down, children playing type of sign. It wasn't that, it was something
Similar.
to do with speed, yes.
Hmm.
I will tell you that the sheriff's car on Weston Avenue, when you're going too fast,
Mm-hmm.
is a deterrent really quick.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't quite quick enough the other day.
Oh,
All right, so we'll leave that the way it is and see if we can come up with some signs or something to put on there.
Yes, sir.
All right, number 3, research on solar array fee schedule. Jeff? You have that?
You have that.
I have that.
Do you have a copy, Jeff?
No.
I will loan you my copy.
All right.
This, and this, and you have a copy behind this with this section.
All right, what do you think?
As I stated a couple months ago, or last month, the fees that we have in place are pretty much here. They were listed as et cetera before. I'm just trying to put a name to it, a name to the et cetera, you know, the solar arrays, commercial solar arrays in particular, and
The price is not going up, it's just, you're just putting a name to it.
right. And then someone had mentioned that it was, they felt that it was too much, and so I did more research and found out that we were actually probably lower than everybody else, but
All right, so we're looking for a motion to approve this fee schedule, updated fee schedule. Anybody like to make that a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the updated.
A second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the updated fee schedule as proposed by the code enforcement officer. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. All right, we have reports from everybody in our packet. So if we want to check those out, we can, or if they have already checked them out, we have the road commissioner here. If we have anything, Mike, you'd like to share with us?
Don't do spring cleanup.
Bring it up. How's it going so far?
We got that part of town just about finished.
All right, good.
Coming on the other side.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions for Mike? All right. All right, items of communication. I'll let the town manager go on the rest of those.
Okay.
Two.
The first one is, we have a FOA request from an attorney in Stonington wanting to know all of the foreclosed and acquired properties that have been sold in the last 6 years. This is due to a Supreme Court decision out in Minnesota that rules that anything over the outstanding tax debt, plus any incidental expenses, water, sewer, electric, and all of that stuff, plus the town's administrative fee, anything that is in excess of that, that's received as proceeds, needs to go back to the original owner. And so my suspicion, having seen these types of FOA requests before at the state, is he's looking to do some kind of a class action lawsuit to get these funds, or to do individual contracts with each person. Tim gave me a spreadsheet that had half a dozen properties on it, and I think there was only one out of all of them that actually had an excess in the proceeds. So the rest of them we lost money on.
Do we know if that person, the excess, the one with excess is still around here?
I didn't look at it
Somehow
close
we-
enough.
Somebody
So
we can contact?
I think it would be either that or their estate. But I will look into that.
Mr. Moody?
Denise, are we charging this attorney for all this work that you're doing?
Within the FOA guidelines, we will charge him what we can.
Okay,
We're not gonna give it to him for free.
there you go.
But we're not gonna overcharge him either.
No, the lawsuit. So you will, should we run this by our attorney at all, or?
I have, and he suggested I run it by MMA, and MMA is saying, well, you've already asked your town attorney, so now you gotta go back to him. So I'm gonna call MMA again and just kind of get a sense of, the town attorney didn't advise us anything other than go to MMA, so.
Is there a timeline on getting him the information? I know they asked for requests
Yes, so FOA gives you a very definite timeline. You have to respond to him within so many days. And then, once you've responded to him, and Cheyenne has already responded to him that we got his request, then we have so many days to actually produce the information.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we have living well reports. And the town manager report on the budget, you have in your hand, so if you have any questions, you can please ask.
I found out today something that I did not know. So, you know that $120,000 that from the TIF account that was used to reduce the taxes, I expected that to be part of the budget adjustments, and it's not. It's actually needs to be something called a special, special revenue transfer. So Trish was in working with Heidi today, and she took care of that, and she updated it. So if you'll see under section account 54 for backyard retain, the special revenue has 120,000 in it now. That needs to get transferred back to the general fund to help reduce those. And it's also gonna alleviate some of those, it's gonna alleviate some of those numbers that show up in red, because
Right.
we're allowed to go
Yes.
over by 120,000.
Right.
Because that 120,000 was not applied to reduce the expense.
Right.
So, that was something I learned today.
All right, good, good. All right, let's see, all right. Okay, new business, number 1, targeted brownfield assessment report for 55 Weston Avenue, South End.
That's the part where there is no building at this time,
Yep.
where the school used to be. And the summary is that there is, where did I put the summary? There's some stuff, but it's within the appropriate scales. There is no site-related contamination that needs to be mitigated prior to planned site redevelopment, bottom line. So we can move forward with developing that property if that is your wish.
All right, that's a good report for us. All right, any questions from the board? All right, site review ordinance on signs. Number 2.
We're gonna go back to the code enforcement officer.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yep,
What would you like to know?
back to you. What do we do?
well, it's being replaced in its entirety.
Okay.
The former, our existing ordinance is, the original is substandard, and trying to update it. This one hasn't been updated since, what was the year? I want to say it was 96 or 92, or something like that. And then, so we did some upgrading, rewording, and bringing things up to date.
So this is something we need to bring to town meeting?
Well, anytime you change an ordinance, it needs to go to town
We
meeting.
need to go to town meeting, so we're not prepared to go to this town meeting without it, I don't believe.
Depends on how fast you can put it through, so.
No,
No, I don't
the
say
warrant is already, the
Yeah,
town
the
report's
warrant's
already
already
gone.
through.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Well, that'd be different, at least
It would
we
be-
get a special town meeting at some point.
If you have something in, say, November or something, throw it in there.
All right.
And the planning board's working on others as well. Eventually, we're going to be looking at every single one of our ordinances. And if you have an idea of which ordinance you want done first, we would definitely welcome that information.
You guys are more expert on that than I am, so, I mean, I think as long as we're looking at the ordinances and updating things as we go,
Right.
it should be fine, I think.
Okay.
All right, we'll move on. Number 3, Maine Department of Transportation Agreement, Construction Overlimit Permit.
Yes, so, this came in, from George McDougal, Bureau of Project Development from Maine Department of Transportation, and it has to do with, I believe it's Route 148. Hey, Mike, can you help me out with reading this stuff?
Yeah.
Did I send you a copy of it? If I didn't, I apologize. I should have sent you a copy of it. But they're asking for permission to have overweight vehicles on our town roads if necessary.
During construction season.
During the construction to rebuild this road that they want to do.
So we're talking, this, the Old Point to Norwich Walk?
I think
That
so,
was
yeah.
their- that's what they're talking this year, am I correct?
Yeah,
And
it's in
148.
North Madison this year.
Not 140, not.
Not 148?
Not 148, no.
Part of 148, I believe, was in that, but I haven't got a hold of Tim Susi yet to clarify if that's gonna be done or not.
Okay.
Because we don't have any poles in the right of way.
Yep.
They may end up doing it, I'm not sure yet.
But we're quite sure that it's 201A from Madison to Norwich Walk.
That one they are doing,
They
yes.
are doing that, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
My understanding was 148 was next year.
okay,
Well,
so
when I
maybe,
said, like by Bob's Cat, they may end up doing a big section of that because we have a huge problem over there. And we need to get it, we're trying to get it fixed.
Okay.
So I'm working with them to try to get that all fixed, to at least passable, you know, not the way it's been the last couple months.
Okay.
So, until I hear back from Tim, I really won't know a whole lot until, I do know it is bid.
So are you in agreement with this?
Yeah.
Giving them permission?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're looking for a motion to give them permission to take overweight trucks during construction season over the limit. Yeah, let's do it.
What is required by us? What do we give them? Is there a form or
I think she's
something?
got a form
that-
there.
yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, who would like to make a motion?
I'm just have a question, I'm confused on, because reading this thing, it says, located in Anson on US Route 201A, beginning 0.4 miles south of Main Street and extending north 4.68 miles. And then the next contract says US Route 201A, beginning in Norwich Walk,
Right, this road here.
0.21 miles south of Ward Hill Road. What is that?
That's 148, isn't it?
No.
Oh,
So,
Extending 6.35 miles, so it must be coming from Norwich Walk
Yeah.
all the way to.
okay, so the top
To
of
Ward Hill, or before it gets to Ward Hill,
Right.
before it turns to,
Maybe they're coming out of a pit in Anson, maybe, I don't know. Is there a pit in Anson or North
Anyway.
Anson? Are they coming out of a pit in North Anson or something, Mike?
I don't know.
Okay.
I do have, anyways, I do have an
That's the first
agreement.
time seeing that letter, so.
Good.
anyway.
I remember these from the past anyway, so we've done this before, so. All right, looking for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve DOT for, agreement for construction overland permit, also over
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve a Maine Department of Transportation agreement for construction over limit permit. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor? All in favor, motion carries. All right, number 4, appoint election clerks and ballot clerks.
Cheyenne has created a list, our town clerk has created a list of ballot clerks for the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, and the unenrolled. And do you want me to read the names?
Yeah, I think you probably should.
Okay. For the Democratic Party, election clerks and ballot clerks, we have Irene Christopher, Beverly Wilder, Sally Moody, David Page, Susan Lottie, Cheryl Wilder, Debbie Vinziano, Eleanor Jo LeBlanc, Barbara Moody, Christine Stratton, Kathleen Hayden, and Mary Tomlinson.
Okay. All right, let's do them all together.
Okay, yep. And for the Republican election clerks and ballot clerks, we have Brenda Flanagan, John Krasnavich, Jan Payne, Gail Socher, Marilyn Goodine, Lynn Rooney, Ann Leisherness, and Philip Daigle. For unenrolled, we have Trish Smith, Julie Forbes, and Colette Karen.
Okay, so she chooses those, she chooses from the list Or probably begs from the list?
That's
Get them-
more
to
accurate,
Get them to come, okay.
These are all people that have agreed to do it.
Okay, so we're looking for a motion to approve the ballot clerks for the next election.
I think
It's
this
for
is
2024 through 2026.
through May 1, 2026.
May 1, 26.
I'll make that a motion to approve the ballot clerks. For the Republican and Democrat and unenrolled parties.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the ballot clerks through
May.
May 2026. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. All right, so number 5 is basically, there's nothing there except for our signatures on stuff.
Right, and I'm passing them around.
Okay.
Let me just go through, okay, so I missed one.
We got the election clerks,
Okay, so we've
with
got
the
the
licenses here.
appointment for solid waste, there's 2 of them here.
Okay.
Okay, liquor license for Lakewood I've already done. Notice of election, MDOT agreement, okay. Oh no, so warrant and notice of election for SAD 59 budget. That's one that has to be signed 7 times.
Oh, good.
I know, it's that fun. Wow, there's more joy coming. You also have to sign the town warrant 7 times. So these can go together. And then my signature folder is empty. And while you all are signing that, if I may go back to items of communication for a minute, please.
Yep.
I handed out a draft schedule for the rest of the calendar year for Board of Selectmen meetings. Under the advisement of the chair, I reached out to Shirley Bartlett, the assessor's agent, to find out when we need to do the tax commitment, and she suggested we go with the July 22nd or August 12th meeting for a tax commitment. And she didn't think that there was any need to schedule assessors meetings other than when it's necessary. So it's hard to put that into the calendar.
I would think that we'd want to go August 12th. I mean, I just think with past history, we've never done it before that, I don't believe.
Okay?
Is that okay with the board?
I won't be able to take it, I already know that.
August 12th,
Yeah.
July 22nd be better?
I can be here for probably July 22nd, but
All
I
right.
can't be here for August.
I just don't,
But I know.
we need to,
that-
we gotta give her time, that's all. It's not gonna be, I mean, we can try, let's try for the 22nd, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay.
You're right, it's not
Because-
happened that early.
Never done it that early before.
And then our fallback will be on the 12th.
Yeah. The only thing we have to do here, Denise, is, town manager, sorry, we have to check a couple of dates for East Madison.
Okay, I can do that.
Not a date, not the 24th of June, and not the, whatever day we're gonna set the commitment, that needs to be here.
Mhm. Okay,
So maybe, start in September maybe, for a couple of dates, September and maybe November.
okay, I'll check with Dan Boswell.
Okay. Alright, so we'll just get that tightened up and,
September, October,
yeah.
okay. And then one thing I did want to point out is, the second Monday in November is Veterans Day, November 11th.
Yep.
So, we condensed it to one meeting in November on the 18th.
Anybody object? Well, we're also on this, on the Columbus Day, or
Yeah.
Indigenous People Day, sorry. We are gonna go with the 15th, which will be Tuesday.
Oh, and
same-
the next meeting too.
And the same thing with Memorial Day. We're gonna go with Tuesday, the 28th.
Yep. And I'll get this posted and
So I
updated. Do you need a
tidy it
motion?
up a little bit.
Do you need a motion or anything?
I know.
Okay.
So
So I'll
you'll
get
send us
that.
an updated.
I will send you an updated version and, yeah, and get it posted to the website.
All right, number 6. Citizens petition for an open town meeting regarding the proposal location of a comprehensive treatment center by Acadia Health within the downtown area. We have received we have received the petition, and I believe it has been checked over by the town clerk.
It has been authenticated.
And all the people, what was the word?
They were authenticated?
Authenticated, okay. All right, it's been checked out. I think that our next item probably will address some of this. We're not gonna schedule anything right now as far as the town meeting goes, but if we need that, that will be our next, that will be a step that we will take. But I think right now we're looking at number 7, and if you're okay, John, going to number 7, I know you're a leader of this, and talking about.
Call it that.
What's that?
I would.
I would, John, you did a good job.
Yeah, thank you.
I would, but, so if we could talk about number 7 also, the town manager could talk a little bit about that. And what number 7 does is it gives us a little bit of time to deal with things. And, you know, we're really looking at different places in town, which is probably not gonna make people close to those places interested in that, but we have looked at different places around and trying to get it off the main street and the main drag, which is what we heard from the group that was here, and I think that's basically what the petition kind of goes along with. Yes,
So are we allowed to ask questions just because I'm
we
concerned?
gotta get, we don't,
Okay,
what, on the petition?
no, it's fine, no, it's not even on the petition, I just wanted to, I wanted to know in order how it went, because I know what I went through when the junkyard tried to go by my salon 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and all the crap that I went through for almost a year.
Mhm.
So, at that time, it was private sale went through, then the permit, and that's when we were able to fight it. Is that gonna be the same situation?
At this time, we have only the private sale going on. We do not have anything that has been presented to the planning board at this point. And Jeff, you can correct me if I'm wrong. There's nothing on paper coming from anybody. And so that's kind of what I was anyways, kind of waiting for some sort of direction in what's going to be there. I mean, we heard from the lady here the other meeting, but there's nothing on paper for anybody to look at.
Okay.
So what you said is what I am hoping the process goes to.
Thank you, that's what I mean.
And, you know, I mean, that's what we have the rules for, and they'll apply everything that is there within our codes to that application,
Perfect,
similar to what they did
with me.
there, I
Perfect.
believe, yes.
Thank you.
Okay? So, the town manager can start on number 7.
Okay. So number 7 is draft moratorium to regulate facilities licensed to dispense controlled substances. This is not intended to address medical marijuana. So let me put that right out there, right to start with. This is not about the medical marijuana. The medical marijuana is going to be a separate article on the town warrant. This is strictly for controlled substances like Suboxone, methadone, and anything else to treat opioid addiction. When it was brought to our attention about a moratorium, I probably didn't handle it well, and I apologize to anybody that I may have offended, but we had talked with the town attorney about a moratorium. I had talked with Maine Municipal about a moratorium. And the answer was the same from both of them. Once the sale has started, it's very difficult to put a moratorium on that process because it's a private real estate transaction. So we haven't changed the circumstances. The circumstances are the same. It's still, we're in the middle of a private sale transaction that the town cannot legally interfere in. However, we have been talking with the Acadia Health representative, and we're looking at alternative locations, and we're trying to get it so that they are, and they are willing to find a different location. So that's progress, okay? They are willing to find a different location. They're not willing to build, but they are willing to remodel. So that opens up a few doors. One of the comments that was made was, why don't they go to the maple syrup factory? That maple syrup factory is only going to be sold to somebody that wants to make maple syrup. That's a condition of the sale. So that's not an option. There are no other commercial properties available for sale in Madison right now. So we are looking at properties that are not currently for sale, but that might be considered opportunities for the owners to engage with Acadia. I'm not at liberty to discuss details of any of that. I haven't even shared it with the board because this is just, and I'm not trying to be less than transparent. I'm just telling you, if I give you this information and something doesn't come through, then you're just going to be really upset with me. So rather than give you bits and pieces, I want to tell you there's something in the works. So we heard you loud and clear, and we want to do what we can to make it happen. So in researching the moratorium, the municipality's legislative body must, and that's the town meeting, by the way, must enact the initial moratorium ordinance. Once the town has initiated that ordinance, then we can, the select board is able to modify that by extending it. I know a moratorium is only good for 180 days. Beyond 180 days, it has to be renewed. And then a development moratorium passed after an application has been filed may still be substantially effective. But we don't know that because there's so many different factors involved. We have to be careful that we don't try to discriminate against the type of business. So, and where this is an outpatient treatment facility, if we put the moratorium on facilities that treat outpatients, then what are you going to do about your health center? That's going to be impacted. So it has to be done carefully, deliberately, and delicately. And then there is the possibility that we could have a new ordinance in town that's not a moratorium, but it directly impacts the location, the distance from safe zones, and that was something I think, did this come from Skowhegan? This 170?
That came from Katie Cog.
Katie Cog. So this would be an ordinance to regulate controlled substance facilities. Again, we would have to exclude the medical marijuana from this act because we have a different ordinance dealing directly with that. So, I don't know where you want to go with that.
So,
It's a lot of information.
But Katie Cog and the planning board.
So if we're looking at having to go to town meeting or something, I think this is important enough that we what is the latest date we can put something together to get to our town meeting? That we can hold us.
Well,
We can add it to that.
We can add.
once
to-
it's printed, we can add to
We
it.
can
We
add.
can, because that's just, and we just have the official one with
Yep.
us, that's
Yep.
how that works.
And then we
After
just
that.
slide the,
What is the last day you could do that?
Well, you've gotta have it,
Need 10 days?
because it's gotta be included in the posting. The article itself has to be posted 7 days before town meeting.
7? Okay, so we're looking at June,
June
7
3rd.
business days?
Yeah.
June 3rd?
7 days.
7 days, so June 3rd. Okay. All right, so if we can get you and
I'll write it
Jeff
up, yep.
to get something for Madison, our next meeting, we can vote to send it to town meeting. And this is not a thing for the advisory board. Sorry,
Right.
Mr. Lloyd.
Don't worry.
Gavel him
Thank you.
down.
This is not a thing.
Gavel him down.
This is not a thing for the advisory board, so we'll recommend yes or no on this. So if you guys could look at putting together something for us
That, for the May 28th meeting?
for the May 28th meeting, and we can get that printed up and
Okay.
get it to town meeting. Sorry, Jeff, I said we couldn't take yours, which it's important to.
I see how
Sorry,
you are.
I apologize.
No, the planning board that is on the schedule for tomorrow's planning board.
So you'll work with them to get something written up so we have it? Okay, all right.
And we gotta get this done then before you go on vacation, or you don't go on vacation.
Well, so, does that make sense?
I'm a little tough, I'm sorry.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay,
sir, Mr. Chairman,
all right.
yes.
Any questions from anybody? Yes,
I
Mr.
kinda got a statement, if I may, and possibly a question. First off, Jeff, you're coming up to
I
a
said
year.
questions, John.
May I?
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Thank you for everything you've done this past year, and I'm so thankful to see that somebody actually taking the initiative, digging into that stuff, changing codes that need to be changed and stuff. And I appreciate what you do, man. And you, Mr. V, thank you for just being there and having me just like,
Well, thank you, John. Thank you
Constantly.
for, I love the
hearing my
government
voice.
process.
yes. And then I'd like to address the town manager to where I personally accept your apology for
Thank you.
that whole thing from before, and I'm thankful that we're finally in a place to where something hopefully is gonna get changed, so.
Yes.
I do have like an idea that might seem better than what you guys are talking about there, and I'm thankful it's there,
Yep.
right? But don't you think that we should like get ahead of it even further than that? Like in the sense of this, right? Actually getting a code in place, put a moratorium on setting it up until this whole Acadia thing is taken care of, to where we won't get a lawsuit on our hands because we're staying out of the completion of what they're attempting to do. And we would just get ahead of
We're
it.
putting a hold on that, John.
Sure,
We're putting a hold on what they're going to do.
right, right.
So we're putting a hold on for 180 days, so we get some time to do what you're saying.
Sure, okay,
That's
good.
that's my intention anyways. I mean, that's my intention, that we're putting a hold on it to give us some time
Okay,
to
perfect.
move forward with what you're saying.
So that time, obviously, the 180 days, then we gotta renew it and
Right, but
so on and so
we hope
forth.
to have that in place in 180 days. I mean,
Perfect.
I mean, that's 6 months, so I mean, I think we can, as soon as the town meeting's over, we've got to work with the planning board and get that ordinance in place, take it to another special town meeting where Jeff's fees will come in at that meeting. So,
Thank you.
that's my intention.
All right, perfect. And just to let you guys know, going out there, we got those signatures literally in just a few hours. It was 2.5 days, but our time, it was just a few hours. And then, out of all those signatures and all the people that actually expressed their opinions, we only had 7, and we literally came across probably 700-800 people. So there was only 7 people that gave resistance. The town is against it, like
Yep,
completely.
and, you know, when this comes up and we start to go to town meeting with it, you gotta get these people out.
Sure, of course.
And you have to get them out, because
Yeah.
they're gonna have to vote that.
Sure, and I don't think there'd be a problem getting them out.
Yep. So,
That's
I mean,
my
I'm not opposed, and the idea is that you put a hold on it and then you move forward with whatever you want to, whatever the planning board and whoever talks about it is going to put this ordinance together.
Perfect.
And there's gotta be an ordinance somewhere, and we're not gonna reinvent the wheel, there's gotta be an ordinance in somebody's,
Sure.
some town. So,
Yeah, that's written up, yeah.
Alright.
Is that
Any
something
other
our lawyer's
questions?
gonna take care of?
what's that?
Is that something our lawyer's gonna
You
take care
probably
of?
will look at it before we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions, anybody?
1 year, 13 days.
Okay, seeing none, we will work on this and hopefully on the 28th. Not hopefully, we will have it on the 28th. All right, any citizens' concerns? Any citizens' concerns? All right, seeing none, we'll move to select board concerns. Mr. Moody?
All set, sir.
Mrs. Webb?
I'm good, thank you.
Mrs. Estes?
I think I'm all set.
All right, looking for a motion to go into executive session to consider personnel matter pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056A. I'll second it. All right, we have a
I will
motion,
second it.
we have a motion and a second to go into executive session pursuant to
Like what?
personnel matter pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056A. All in favor? All in favor? All in favor?